Welcome to the Headspace and Tasting Podcast, where we talk manhood, tell stories, and discuss the stuff that matters to us one sip at a time. Hello, Kevin.
Good evening, Matt.
Welcome back, folks, to the Headspace and Tasting Podcast. We appreciate you listening to us wherever you are. We have our listener in Russia pop back on, and UK still hanging in there, Canada, and all over the United States. We really appreciate the folks that are listening. If you're not subscribed yet, please do so. We would love for our listenership, our subscribers to grow. That'd be super cool. If you have any criticism about the show, we want to hear that too, because we want to get better.
Right. And if there's anything that you once listened to or heard us and thought, oh, that's pretty cool, then we just got boring or whatever, let us know. What do you want to hear?
Yeah, probably more prepper stuff or...
We'll gladly talk about it.
Military history. Speaking of history, we're fresh off the 250th anniversary of the United States, these United States. And you picked up a bottle when you were on a trip to the east.
No, this one came local.
Oh, was it local?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because it's...
when I was on the hunt for a bottle for the 250th anniversary,
that's right.
couldn't find anything.
There you go. That's right.
I wanted a Kentucky bourbon, but ended up finding this. This is a Tennessee whiskey, Old Dominick. So we're back on the old wagon train because we did Old Granddad, and we did Old Forester, and now we're on Old Dominick. There's a couple more out there we'll get to. Old Dominick Stave finished single barrel Tennessee straight bourbon whiskey finished with oak staves. And that would be American oak staves. Mash number 1. One of the things I like about Old Dominick is when you talk about transparency, they have everything on their label.
Everything.
Proof is 118.78. Age is 6 years. The mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley, and it is distilled, aged, and bottled by Old Dominick Distillery. This one here is actually a private select by the St. Charles Bourbon Society, which I had no idea existed. I knew about the St. Louis Bourbon Society, but there's a St. Charles. And on the back of the Old Dominick label, it has the 250th anniversary label. Raise a glass to 250 years of kicking ass. This is barrel number 1305, bottle number 48.
And St. Charles Bourbon Society has their own website. That's pretty cool. Drink local, sip together. And there's a community dedicated to celebrating bourbon through education, connection, and memorable experiences. Neat.
One of the things I found about this Old Dominick single barrel, age 6 years. Apparently, age 6 years Old Dominick is hard to find. Usually it is held aside for things like this, for private select or barrel select for organizations or clubs or restaurants, whatever. They're going to do it. So it's hard to get a hold of. And there's a couple of quotes that I found on it. The 6-year version is highly sought after, limited edition. Another quote I saw was exclusive private selections. So this is a highly sought after Tennessee whiskey, Matt.
Highly sought.
Well, what are you thinking?
I'm undecided on how I feel about this right now, but it's making me sweat. Like the top of my head sweating. It's hot. I could smell the wood very faintly because it's such high proof, man. It's really hard to pull any real aromas from it. And then I wrote down apple skin, like the outside of an apple when you, like a grocery store apple. And I guess it's like the wax they put on the apples or something.
Oh.
Like when before you bite into it, you just smell the skin. That's kind of what I smelled. Taste wise, I wrote tannins. Like it's made my mouth water big time. And you can getting some of the grains in here. The barley, maybe. And then finish, you really taste the full mash bill on the finish. A lot of corn coming through and the barley. And it's hot, man. It's like the whole mouth.
Nice. I'll give you that on the heat. For me, the nose, not apple, but I was smelling pear and vanilla and old school caramel popcorn that you would get at like a fair. That's what I was smelling on the nose.
Like when it's still hot.
Yeah, when they give it to you in a little bag, walk away with it.
Yeah.
That part, the caramel corn, did not come out when we first poured it, but now that's been sitting a bit. That did show up actually while you were talking.
Okay.
As far as the palate, to me it was dark fruits, a little light oak, definitely yeasty. That's definitely the malted barley. And then on the finish, it was certainly lingering heat and honey.
Yeah, I get a lot of oak flavor on it right after I swallow and first breathe out.
I do kind of find it funny that on the nose I'm getting the corn, on the palate I'm getting the barley, and on the finish.
Interesting.
Yeah. I love the color of it. I mean, it is.
Yeah, it's red.
Nice amber color.
Yeah.
Really good color. And it's got really good legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I keep going back and forth. Like one sip, I'm like, I really like this. And the next sip, I'm like, ew, I don't know if I like this.
Right, initially, eye appeal.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's a cool bottle, too.
Yes.
You could kill a man with that thing if it was empty.
You could. I mean, it's a hefty bottle. Thick glass. Good solid base.
They got us on the cork, though. It started out, it's like an oak. Looks like an oak topper on the cork, and then you pull it out, and it's synthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Bummer.
Which they're all going that way,
yeah,
we learned.
Yeah. It's
Smarter move.
probably for the best. Do you want to do star ratings now or at the end of the show?
No, we'll wait because my rating may change as this show goes.
Ears are sweating, man. I gotta take my headphones off.
Well, you have no hair to soak it up, so.
No, it'll run right down to my eyes. Make my mascara run. So what's been going on, man? Did we talk about your trip that you took?
What trip?
To Kentucky?
Oh, the Kentucky trip.
The one you just mentioned?
No, I don't think so. We took the family to the Creation Museum, north and south of Florence, Kentucky. So the Creation Museum itself is within 20 miles of the Ohio border, Columbus, Ohio. Went to that one day, spent half a day there, and then the next day, that was day 2. Day 1, we went to Noah's Ark, south, and that is a full-on reproduction of the biblical model of Noah's Ark.
Full-scale model.
Yes. And it's every bit of 4 decks. It's a little bit longer than 2 747 jet planes lined up to each other. Thing's massive.
Yeah. How long did it take them to build it?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It had to have been a long time.
Massive,
I remember
very
the story
worth it.
came out about that they were going to do it, and everybody's like, what? No way.
I remember donating to it,
Okay.
but I didn't donate enough money to make the bulletin board.
Yeah, or they didn't let you in for free.
Not there on the
paid
plaque,
for this.
right? But we really enjoyed that.
Anything pop out that was like maybe made a connection to something you read in the Bible or challenged you in some way?
Well, one of them is the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You know, to see dinosaurs in there, and they're not massive. Nothing in there is massive. This is where people get confused because they go, there ain't no way you're going to have 2 giant giraffes and elephants and all that. You don't need full grown. You don't want full grown. You want juveniles in there because they're going to be living when they hit land again. So you don't want somebody at the end of their life. You want somebody at the beginning of their life. when it comes to animals. And so everything was scaled down a little bit, but still had full size. And they tell you at the beginning how they had to take some artistic license to give you the experience.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did, I thought, was really, really good on how they fed the animals. What do you do with all the animal poop?
Mm.
They show how that's all built. And the entire ark that you walk through is a full-on reproduction. It's not like just one room.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. So you're walking through the ark.
Mm-hmm.
All the clay jars, the size of them, storage, their sleeping areas. They had their own, what we would call a library, but it was a section of the boat, a small section that equivalent to maybe 3 or 4 bookcases that were all scrolls.
Wow.
So it was really, really good. People always want to say species. Oh, there's 400 species of dogs, whatever. You don't need 400 species of dogs. You just need 2. Because it's kinds.
Right.
2 kinds of dogs, And then overbreeding over time.
This is probably wolves.
This is what you get.
Yeah.
So that part was really, really good. A lot of discussion about, they make comparisons throughout the entire experience. So this is what the world says. This is what the Bible says. This is what archaeology says. You draw your own conclusions.
Okay.
Because those who would believe in evolution and those who would believe in creation use the exact same evidence.
Yeah.
It's how you interpret it.
Sure.
And by the time you're done, I think more and more people are inclined to lean towards the creation side versus the evolution side. And that's where you're going to see a lot of the challenge. I saw a lot of that discussion.
Really?
While I was there. I didn't try to eavesdrop too much.
Sure.
But there was a lot of discussion between people.
Cool.
About being challenged on their thought process, which is what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
The security there is better than TSA at an airport. Which makes sense because it's religious in nature.
Target, yeah.
And when you get there, you have full-on security, armed. They just stand there and stare at you. They don't even do anything. They just stand there.
Oh, wow.
And then you walk past them, and then there's the metal detectors, and you got to empty everything out. Every single bag, purse, stroller, you got kicked to the side. It didn't matter how big or small it was, and you were searched. Kid strollers, you had to take the kid out. They were looking at the stroller.
Dang.
So it was kind of cool to see. And then once you got past that, everything's good, and you get on a tour bus to get to it. The place is massive. When you first pull into the parking lot, you don't even see the ark.
Oh, wow.
And then you turn around the corner and you get closer towards where you got to drive this little driveway thing to get to the ark. And it's just a parking lot. It's bigger than a Six Flags parking lot. It's a massive parking lot.
Dang.
And then you'll see the ark way in the distance, and it's already massive. You're taking pictures even from the parking lot. You park, and then you walk 5 minutes over to where you're getting searched. You get on a tour bus, and then it's another 5-minute drive by tour bus to get to where they drop you off.
Wow.
And then they drop you off, and it's a 5-minute walk to get to the ark. It's just a lot of property.
Yeah, you said what is 50-something foot tall?
51 feet tall, 108 feet wide.
Dang.
I believe. And 4 decks, and we walked up all 4 decks. It's a big ramp. So you kind of go up. And they've got all the different replicated cages. Every single cage had something in it. Birds, different kinds of animals, all the way through. They showed all the different food storage areas.
What did they do with all the poop? They just throw it out in the water?
So behind each cage, because they're stacked, like let's say it's small animals, right? They're stacked. And they have little food tray, water tray, all that stuff. And there's these little wood slats that are angled. And they're out the back, and they intersect with each other And so everything kind of drains out the back.
Yeah.
And goes all the way down to the bottom to like a pit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's collected there and then thrown out. It was really neat.
I whose job that was. They scoop the poop out.
Well, I mean, it's only Noah and his family.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it.
Probably the youngest boy. Yeah, that's your job, son.
How they show how they can get air in there, how they circulated all that.
Yeah, what was the temperature in there? Like, was it air conditioned? Like, could you tell it was air conditioned, or was it like comfortable? Or?
Ours, like us walking through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was comfortable.
But was it air conditioned? I imagine they would.
I don't know that I felt an air conditioner while we went through it.
Yeah.
But it was.
It probably is.
It felt good. There was a lot of people there, and it was not hot.
Yeah.
And it was hot outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the timbers and the wood and the stuff they use, and they describe the wood and everything that they use, because the whole thing is built out of wood.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just massive timbers.
Well, you said there was one wood they don't really know what it was.
Gopher wood.
Gopher wood.
Nobody really knows what gopher wood was.
Yeah.
So, again, they have to take artistic license when they're building. Really neat.
That's cool. So, and then...
And just to get on the news cycle right now, because right now they're saying, oh, we think we found the ark, right?
Yeah, in Turkey.
Or the remnants of the ark.
Somewhere in Turkey.
I'm here to tell you it's not.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. This is just Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a scientist.
Right.
I'm a pragmatic thinker. The entire world is destroyed in a flood.
Right.
Everything's wiped out. They're on the ark for a total of 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
They're in for the flood. The waters recede, and they're still in the ark for 6 months before they're allowed to get out.
Right.
Do you think there's any trees or anything like that for them to make lumber out of after 6 months of dry land?
Probably not.
Right. So how do you build a house? How do you build storage barns?
Yeah,
You're going to tear apart the ark.
Yeah.
And reuse the wood that was on it to build your structures. I really think that's what happened to the ark. They didn't leave it there.
Well,
they used it?
He let a dove go, right? And then the dove returned. Or no, it didn't return. And that's how they knew there was land.
No, yeah. The first time one came back with an olive branch.
Right.
And then it didn't come back, and then they knew that.
So they were still on the water. So the boat, the ark was still in the water when they found land. It wasn't like the water receded around them and then they're stuck on top of a mountain.
Or all the trees are still alive. No, they're all wiped out. Everything had to get regrown.
Yeah. And
when you see the massive size of these timbers and everything, I'm here to tell you, I really think what happened is they reused the materials that they had. And that was another neat little thing about the ark, because they showed how, again, you mentioned right at the beginning, the prepper mindset, right? Mm-hmm. So they had a little forage or shop area for making iron thingies.
Oh, okay.
They had little kitchen, and they had little sew shop, and they had like a little area for them to do like their own medical thingies at the time. We don't know if this stuff was in there, but it makes sense that it would be.
Yeah, you would have to have like a forge to make nails or whatever. Gate hinges.
Because they built it over a period of, 120 years?
Yeah.
Something like that? Took them that long to build?
Got some time to be detail-oriented.
Yeah. It's worth going. Regardless of what you believe, it's worth going to, challenge yourself and to learn at the same time, because there's a lot of stuff in there that is science-based, and you just draw your own conclusions on what you find, and they're not forcing you to go one way or another.
Right.
I did like that.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got? What else? So you talked about the news cycle nowadays. Anything going on in the news?
No.
Nothing.
I want to jump on what you talked about last week.
Okay.
Not that anybody listened. And it's what not really what we talked about on the show, but it was when you and I got together Monday.
Yeah.
And you made 2 comments to me.
Okay.
Talking about the country. Dude, we're so far gone. That's one of your quotes. And your other one was, what does it even matter? I sat on that and thought about it. Why did you say what you said? What were you referring to?
Well, I was referring to how far we've gone away from our Christian values. You know, we're no longer like what people would say is a Christian country anymore. We're gone from our rabid defense of our liberties. That's gone. You know, you can drive down the street and you got 5,000 cameras watching your every move. You know, scanning your license plate, looking at stickers on your car. You can see inside, see who's driving, where you're going, where you came from. And then now we're finding out these cameras can connect to your Bluetooth and even listen to what kind of music you're listening to, get your GPS, and nobody even cares at all. Now, I'm not going to say nobody.
Unless you're in the Air Force and you got caught for tearing down 8 of them. 13 of them.
But he's innocent till proven guilty. Mm-hmm. He didn't admit guilt. So good for this man. But yeah, you know, so now there's a big movement, the deflock.com you can go on to, or .org, I think. Do what you will with that. And you know, like just local government, people don't care what their city council, county councils are doing. And if they do care, it's because they saw it on Facebook or TV and they're being told what to do. But it's like we're just totally getting away, and we have gone away as a country from our founding principles, and we're becoming some kind of weird uber capitalist version of European socialism, something like that. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, what you said to me really struck home. It made me start to think about, we're pretty bad off if 2 people, you and I, sitting here, who believe and love our country, believe in our country, and we ourselves are saying, why does it even matter? We're so far gone.
Well, what I meant by why does it even matter, I meant in a spiritual sense. You know, we know where this is going.
Well, right, but I'm still tracking there.
I still grieve over what could be, you know, what was once with the nation. And really, I think about 9/11, right? When September 11th happened, my son was 6 months old, and I remember standing at his crib. He's taking a nap, and just thinking to myself, and I said it out loud, you'll never know what it was like before today. So there's like these weird these things that happen in our lifetimes that just change. Like we're in a completely different world now. So when I say, why does it even matter? You know, we should pray for our leaders. We should pray for our country. We should pray for peace and healing and all of that, of course.
Right.
But ultimately, we know the plan. We know what's going on.
Well, and I'm gonna challenge some folks. There's a lot of people who want to disregard whatever's said in the Bible. Let's go all the way back to our founding, and it's debated today. Oh, our founding fathers, they weren't real Christians. And that's the non-Christians who are arguing that concept because of different things that are said. Thomas Jefferson with his Jefferson Bible, where he took out all the miracles of Jesus, said he wasn't a really God on this earth, and that's fine. The thing that everyone is missing the point on is the United States was founded on Christian principles.
Absolutely.
Whether you were a believer or not, even the non-believers believed in the Christian principles, the foundation.
Yes.
And that part alone is what sets us apart from other nations, and that part alone is what gives us our foundation for the old statements that have since gone away of we are a nation of laws.
Yeah, that's why it's so important, like the 10 Commandments being in schools. People are fighting so hard against that because they're, you know, non-believers, they think, oh, it's separation church or state and all this BS that's not true. They're twisting that to meet their narrative, but the Ten Commandments is what our nation was founded on, those laws. And
I used to joke, there was a billboard that used to be in one of the towns I used to live in, outside of one man's house. It was in his yard, and it says, "We have 2 million laws to explain the 10 Commandments."
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But what got me really digging into it even deeper is I love how God works in our lives when we let Him. Because you and I had this conversation on Monday, and I start thinking about this, start making some notes. But I'm also at that this week I was reading the book of 2 Timothy.
Okay.
And I'm going to quote from 2 Timothy because I think we need to hear this. And I think many of our pastors are afraid to have these conversations. And they need to have these conversations. It's all about, unicorns and roses. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 9. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with them. They are the kind who worm their way into homes and gain control over weak-willed women, who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires, always learning but never able to acknowledge the truth. Just as James and Jambres opposed Moses, so also these men oppose the truth, men of depraved minds, who as far as the faith is concerned are rejected. But they will not get very far because, as in the case of those men, their folly will be clear to everyone. Yeah, we are quickly spiraling down the end times, but when you hear those words of descriptors, this is what we see in the news every day. This is what we see on TikTok. This is what we see on Facebook. This is what all of our newscasters and the media are discussing every single day, and they laugh about it.
Yeah.
And they take sides.
The politicians who are supposedly, leading this country, but we're all guilty of that stuff.
Right.
None of us are guiltless when it comes to that list there. The only question is, are your sins forgiven? Are you?
Well, then it gets worse, because in the very next chapter, chapter 4, he says, let's see, where am I?
Preach the word.
Chapter 4, verse 3. For the time will come when men will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear. They will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside to myths. But you, keep your head in all situations, endure hardship, do the work of an evangelist, discharge the duties of your ministry. I'm here to tell you that Jesus, when he talked in the book of Matthew and Luke and John about the end times, and he talked about what was going on. And you get later with the Apostle Paul, before you get to Revelation. Paul is so specific on what it's going to look like today.
Yeah.
And these are words written 2,000 years ago, and this is what we're seeing today.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? That means we have work to do, and that we don't give up.
Well, we kind of talk about this from time to time about what we should be doing with this podcast. We have these core beliefs, these foundations that we operate on, and everything comes out of our faith. How we lead our families, how we operate at work, how we live our lives, supposedly. And why don't we talk about it more? Why aren't we more outgoing, more What holds us back, man? Like, when's the last time you shared the gospel with somebody?
Been a little while, unfortunately.
Yeah. I had a instance where I had an opportunity to pray with somebody who's a non-believer, and he was having a very, very hard time, and I didn't know the guy well at all. Barely knew his name. But I could tell he needed a hug, man. He just needed some love, and something was pulling, just give this kid a hug. He needs a hug right now. And I prayed he asked if I could pray for him, and he said yes. And even in that moment, I was like, man, I hope one day I get a chance to share the gospel with him. But maybe he'll come ask me why I gave him a hug that day. Why was I so... dude, it's not me. Because if I was me acting, I would have probably grabbed you by your shirt and slapped you and told you to be a man and, man up, dude. But it wasn't me. If anything good that comes out of me is probably not from me.
I'm reading a book now called Take the Cannoli.
All right.
It was published back in...
Sounds kind of racist.
Kind of. It was published back in 2000 by Sarah Vowell. And in the chapter called Take the Cannoli, very first paragraph, and let me think about if this relates to anything that you might see on the news or anything today. There comes a time halfway through any halfway decent liberal arts major's college career when she no longer has any idea what she believes. She flies violently through air polluted by conflicting ideas and theories, never stopping at one system of thought long enough to feel at home. All those books, all that talk, and the self-reflection. Am I an existentialist, a Taoist, a transcendentalist, a modernist, a postmodernist, a relativist, positivist, historicist, daticist, deconstructionist? Was I Apollonian? Was I Dionysian, or just drunk? Which was right and which was wrong, impressionism or expressionism? And while we're at it, is there such a thing as right and wrong?
Oh, boy.
I mean, I just described that in Timothy.
Yeah. She's
writing this back in 2000, and this is what we're seeing on the news today.
Yeah, and people are going into debt, tens of thousands of dollars to send their children to be indoctrinated by these demonic communist professors. What are we doing, man?
All about, what's it, life maxing? What is it, life? I forget what the term is.
Looks maxing?
Maybe that's what it is, where everybody's doing all these weird things.
We talked about the tweak mints before.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you had the one guy who swore he was going to live to 160 years old, and he was doing all these things. No, he found out that his stomach is eating itself.
Yeah.
Supposedly the most healthiest dude ever. What's that tell you? God ain't going to let you live 160 years.
No way, man.
Your body, regardless of what you try to do, your body's going to keep on going.
Even
and keep
that,
aging.
God you might be made an example for everybody. If you try to think you're God and you're going to throw it in the face of the real God, better watch out.
A lot of ego, a lot of people unwilling to look in the mirror. I mean, I've run into issues. I run into issues almost on a daily basis where, Kevin, look at the mirror, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that sometimes, brushing my teeth, and I'm just looking down at the sink, and I'm like, why don't I look
thoughts that
myself
cross
in the
my
face?
head.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, I have
all day long.
Yeah, I go through some rough patches, and it's tough. But I was just thanking God today. I was praying when I was walking, thanking Him for my anxiety. Sometimes that creeps in. It's like I'll start to stray from God, start doing my own thing, be too focused on my budget or household stuff like menial tasks, stuff that I should just be doing as a chore once a week, but I get obsessed with them. And then I'm like, dang, I haven't read my Bible in 5 days. I haven't prayed. I'm thinking about I don't even want to go to church, and sin creeps in, and then I get anxious and all depressed about it and mad at myself and start negative self-talk. And then I'm like, hold on a second. I see exactly what's going on here. It's one day it'll just hit me. And I was praying today, man, if I didn't, I don't know. Sometimes I get anxious and then I pray. And then I'm like, well, thank God for my anxiety, because it brings me to God, even though I hate it and I wish He would take it away from me. I wish I could just be all about God all the time. That'd be cool.
Is there a lot that we can do? I really don't think there is.
No.
But what we can do is affect the world right around us. And it's the whole ripple effect. We've discussed this. It's what you do as an individual, as a person. Are you extending a helping hand?
I heard a guy say today, it was a little YouTube short, there are actually 5 gospels. There's Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and you. And people will look at you and, they're going to wonder, what's going on with this guy? Why does he have so much peace? Why is he so calm? Why is he so happy? And they're going to wonder what's going on. Or why would this dude help me? Or whatever it is, whatever the fruits of being a believer.
Mm-hmm. Fruits of the Spirit.
And they're going to ask about it, or you might be talking to them about your faith, and they'll be like, dang, man, I knew there was something about you. Like, tell me about it. I don't know how biblically accurate that is, the 5 gospel thing, but, we're supposed to be a light in the world, right?
Well, if you're a believer, your body is a temple.
Mm.
And you should treat your body that way. And that goes with everything.
Yeah. It's hard. It's like one of those things that it's easy to say, but it's hard to, like, if you're actually trying, if you're trying to do it, if you're like working and trying to do it, it's really hard, but it's like, you just are.
Right. I think that's where a lot of people miss the boat, because they feel like, I could never be loved by God or loved by Jesus because I just can't live up to expectations.
Right.
There are no expectations.
No.
You're a believer. If you're a true believer and follower of Jesus, you yourself will start to change.
Yeah.
For the better.
Yeah. But just like, Jesus was on the cross and the thief right next to him. That there's like, what kind of expectations did he have? All he said was, this man is, surely the Son of God. And then, that's it, man. That's the expectation, is believe.
Mm-hmm.
And
because the belief, if you truly do believe and you're willing to follow, things will change from the inside out.
Yeah.
Within you.
Do you, when somebody becomes a believer, have you seen instant changes versus long process of changing? Is it an instant change? Is it?
What I've seen more often than not is someone who I personally know who becomes a believer is suddenly talking about the Bible, or they have it in their hands, or I might catch them listening to music differently, and then I'll start to see actions after that. I'll start to see someone who is more apt to say, oh, I got that. Let me get that for you. Or just when someone's struggling, or, I don't know, you're at work and you got to stack chairs.
Mm-hmm.
They're not waiting to ask or waiting for you to ask. They're just over there doing it.
Yeah.
That's how I start to notice. I mean, I was friends with one of my friends for, I bet 10 years before we ever prayed together. But I knew he had become a believer and was doing everything, he was demonstrating a change in who he was. But as individuals, when he and I were ever together, we just never thought to do it. And then one day we did it, and then it was hard not to do it again after that. You kept doing it.
Yeah.
That's when I start to see real growth in those ways. It takes support. You can't just let someone go out hanging.
Yeah.
Because we have to keep supporting each other.
That's kind of my problem, because I'm not a joiner. I'm not a jump right into a group of new people and get involved and be friends with everybody instantly, and so I've always kind of been on the outskirts. Like, I'll go to church, but yeah, I'm here and I'm worshiping and I'll help out, whatever, but never really got fully involved. And, you know, I think that stunted my growth as a Christian.
Yeah. And I've been down this rabbit hole before more than once, that church isn't believing in Jesus.
No.
1 in 7, you still got 6 other days.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing for those other 6 days?
Yeah.
There was...
That's just the day we get together to communally worship. That's what church.
Right.
What you looking for?
There was something in the Old Testament. I wanted to get on the whole manna thing.
Is that Exodus?
It is in Exodus, but there was... it's also recalled in...
Feast of Unleavened Bread. Is it 12? No.
Okay, yeah, they skipped over that, so I need to go to...
There it is. 16, chapter 16.
Okay. Sorry, folks.
Then they set out from Elim, and all the congregation of the sons of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month. Hold on. Is that when the manna came down?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, the Lord provides
verse
manna.
4.
Yeah. Then the Lord said to Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day, that I may test them, whether or not they will walk in my instruction. On the 6th day, when they prepare what they bring in, it will be twice as much as they gather daily. So Moses and Aaron said to all the sons of Israel, At evening you will know that the Lord has brought you out of the land of Egypt, and in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, for he hears your grumblings against the Lord. And what are we that you grumble against us?
Right. So when God was providing the manna to the 2 million Israelites, or Hebrews hanging out in the desert, and fed them every day, he said, every single day you have to go out and get your daily ration.
Yeah.
Later on, same instructions, you get down to verse 19, Moses said to them, no one is to keep any of it until morning. However, some of them paid no attention to Moses. They kept part of it until morning, but it was full of maggots and began to smell. So Moses was angry with them. What's that tell you? That tells you that God provided you your daily bread, and that's all you needed every day. And he made sure you had it every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a reminder, because if you go back to what you said at the beginning, on day 6, you had to collect 2 days' worth.
Right.
Because you didn't...
Don't work on the Sabbath.
Right.
Yeah.
So here it is that the manna goes bad every single night if you tried to hoard it.
Except for the 6th day.
Right. Which proves it's a thing from God. It's not a natural thing.
Right.
Because...
Supernatural.
Right.
Yeah.
It rotted every single day, except on day 6, it stayed fresh for 2 days.
Huh.
And it started the process again. It's just like believing. It's just like your faith in Jesus and following him and growing in your own faith with God, that you can't just go to church on Sunday and expect it to last you until the next week. You have to be refreshed every single day. That's either reading the Bible every single day, whacking out a devotional, listening to a sermon on the radio or on TV. Every single day you have to have that in your head as a refresher, because every single day you need to be refreshed.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get rotten on you.
I know I do for sure, man. Not just from speaking personally. When I stop, it just like I'm like one of those stupid sheep. You know, like I said before, that sheep that runs off and jumps into a ditch, and then the dude runs over, pulls it out, and then it runs right back into the ditch, and he's like, "Come on!"
Yep.
And he does like 4 times. That's me. You know, I'm just so prone to wonder and I don't know, man, rebel.
But that's the thing. There's no such. I mean,
everybody's different. Everybody's walk is different.
Yep.
And it's all good, man, as long as you have Jesus.
But we learn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point. If you truly do believe, you're going to learn, and you're going to ask for forgiveness, and you're going to keep going. There's a difference between asking for forgiveness because you did something wrong and asking for forgiveness because you did it wrong on purpose, because you say, well, no, I can just go to confession and it'll be all right.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
That's not.
No. Because now you're grieving the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
That ain't good.
No. Interesting. So, how do we fix this country? Turn back to God.
That's the only way we're going to do it.
And you start at home with yourself and your family, and work outward from there.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you're praying for you, your family, friends, co-workers, your country. You're asking for repentance.
You're the president, even though you don't like them or you don't agree with them or whatever. Right. You know, we need to be praying for our leaders. I get reminded of that constantly.
But unless we change our ways, it's not going to get any better.
No.
We're already under judgment as a country.
Yes.
But you can at least slow it down to revival.
Well, or
that can happen.
Bring your loved ones and people with you when the end does come.
Exactly.
Because
that's what we're all shooting for anyway. I mean, I'm looking forward to the day that I get to be in heaven.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Can't wait. I was talking to Caitlin the other night. We're looking at our new son, Jack, and we think about how much how sad we are about losing our first baby. And we named him Henry. And then we're just like, I can't wait to meet him one day. I cannot wait to get to heaven to meet him. It's going to be awesome.
Ooh, that bourbon. Wow.
Yeah, it's intense, man.
It's almost at the Booker's eyelid sweat. Almost.
This was just the top of my head and my ears.
That doesn't make it bad.
No. Hey, I looked up the St. Charles Bourbon Society.
Mm-hmm.
And it's $3.75 a month or $37.50 a year. You get a discount on barrel picks. If you do the $7.50 level, $7.50 a month or $75 a year. You get discounts on your events, and you're eligible to attend their barrel picks and a guest appearance on a podcast or publication. So that's pretty cool. I'm on a podcast every week.
I'm not asking for membership, but if you want to come on our podcast, St. Charles Bourbon Society, we'll have you.
Yeah.
You just have to supply the bourbon.
See what they got going on here. August 1st, a learning series. Bottle share. What is that? You just bring a bottle, I guess?
Well, oh, that's probably what it is. Yeah.
Where do we go from here, Kevin? What do we do? Are we doing enough?
We go up.
Is there enough? Is there a...
Well, I don't know that I don't know that there's such thing as action. It's not always about what you're doing. Because if that becomes your thought process, then you're not going to do well.
Then it's works, right? Or it becomes a chore,
yes,
and a job, and
right.
So how do you go about it? What do you do? How do we start this?
Well, I mean, I'll just tell you me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. When I wake up in the morning, it's not like I'm getting out of bed and getting dressed and going to work right away. I get up earlier on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So when I wake up, I say a prayer before I even get out of bed, after my alarm goes off. Every day, my prayer's a little different, but I always do the things I always going to say is, thank you for the rest. Thank you for the new day. Looking forward to whatever comes, what may, God willing. And then I get out of bed. And then after that, I will make my morning drink, which, I don't drink coffee, so it'll be a different thing that I drink to get my day going. And I'll sit there and I'll read at least one chapter out of the Bible, some book that I'm reading, because I always pick a book and I'll read through that book and then I'll go on to something else. Mm-hmm. Because to me, that's important. That's how you get your day going, because you're setting your mind right. And there's always going to be something in there. You would be surprised at the things that you read that either trigger your mind because of what you experienced the day before, or will cause you to reflect because of the way the day worked out. And you would say to yourself, I remember reading about that. Wait a minute, it says if I do this in response to whatever the external thing that happened today, then things will be all right.
Yeah.
Or it'll tell me how not to react. And so that's always how I start my day. Throughout the day, while I'm at work, into the evening, I always read a psalm. I may or may not read a chapter out of Proverbs. And then I read a devotional. And develop a habit. That's what I do. And that's just from Scripture. Because you can't know God without knowing the Word. Because the Word is Him. So you have to know the Word. And it's not all these and thous. Mm-hmm. They have modern translations. And it's not all begat this and begat that. There's only, I think, 7 chapters in the entire book of the Bible that talks about lineage. That's it.
Yeah, numbers can be a bit tedious to get through.
There's a lot of information in there, and I don't think there's a single thing that you will experience in your life that you can't find in the Bible. Not one single thing.
Yeah.
You will find a reference to help you.
I started reading a proverb of the day, so whatever the date is. So today's July 9th.
Sure.
I'm reading Proverbs 9. But the funny thing is, it's wisdom's. So I'm reading from the New American Standard Bible. Mm-hmm. And it's wisdom's invitation. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. She has prepared her food. She has mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has sent out her maidens. She calls from the tops of the heights of the city. Whoever is naive, let him turn in here. To him who lacks understanding, she says, come, eat my food and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake your folly and live, and proceed in the way of understanding. So it's like, if you're searching for wisdom in life, it's right here in the Bible. Like, people will listen to a million podcasts. They'll go to all these self-help books, listen to all the Navy SEAL, whatever, leadership stuff. And, the true wisdom is here in the Bible. And it's crazy. Like, we're sitting here talking about it, and that's the verse I read today. And that happens all the time.
Right.
You'll see that as you're going through your life as a Christian, that you'll either have a conversation with somebody and then, boom, you'll open your Bible and you're like, whoa, I was just thinking about this. Or the church sermon. You're in church and the preacher is like, looks like he's directly looking you dead in the eyes
right.
and giving his sermon
had those moments
to you, and you're the only person sitting there. That happens a lot.
I will tell you this, Kevin. How do you know that you're changing or have changed? Easy. I have noticed that in recent months, I have become more patient while driving. If someone wants to get over in front of me, I'm not like speeding up to close the gaps. They can't. Yeah. I just let them get over.
Yeah.
I don't have to drive 80 miles an hour. 66 is just fine.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm driving 66 miles an hour and I put it on cruise control on the highway, I might have people passing me all the time. But you know what? My lane is free and clear the whole time.
Yeah. And you
just
probably
keep
catch
on
up
driving.
to them anyway.
I do.
At the exit.
But I don't have to like pass the person in front of me or look at the people behind me, see if I'm going to cut anybody off at 66 miles an hour on the highway.
More relaxing drive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Becomes more relaxing. I noticed too that you start to pray for things. So people say it's hard to pray. It is hard to pray. You know why it's hard to pray? Because we try to be formal.
Yeah.
Don't be formal. Just tell God what's on your mind.
Yeah, God speaks. He speaks your language.
Exactly. Tell him what's on your mind. If you want to argue with him, he'll listen. If you want to tell him about the good things of your day, he's going to listen. If you need help, he's going to listen. If someone else you know needs help and you ask him for it, he's going to listen. It's amazing how prayer works. And I feel better when I'm done praying, even on bad stuff. And one of the things I found on prayer is if I become consistent with prayer throughout the day, because it's not just one day of prayer, it's throughout the day. Someone says, hey, Kevin, will you keep me in your prayers or keep them in your prayers? You see it on posts. People go, oh, I'm praying for you. Are you really? Instead of saying it, why don't you just do it?
Yeah, you don't have to say it.
And I've run into that at work and in other places where someone says, rather than saying, I'll pray for you, how about you just say,
Can I pray for you right now?
Right. And every single time I get a shocked look in my eyes from someone, and they would say, yeah, I've never had anybody say no to me.
No.
Ever.
I think that's one of the biggest, either like the biggest misses and misconception. So a miss on the part of Christians and a misconception on the part of non-believers. The love aspect of like, you have this love for people, but you don't show it, or you think, oh, it would be inappropriate right now. And I'm guilty of this myself. And you have like this socially awkward, is this the right time? But you should be bold. We're called to be bold with our faith. And then misconception for non-believers is thinking that Christians are judgmental, that they're, elitist, and, it's that they hate you because you're a certain way, your sins, whatever. And they don't realize that sin is sin. We're all sinners. All of us fall short of the glory of God. And I think it was Paul said he's chief among the sinners. And we should all have that attitude, but we should be open about it. Be like, dude, yeah, I'm a flawed individual, but I'm saved by the grace of God.
Yeah.
Through the sacrifice of Jesus. And that's the only reason I can smile today. That's it.
Right. Another thing I found about prayer is when you're consistent and you're praying often.
Yeah.
I have more people come to me, or I get more prayer requests. Kevin, will you pray about this? Kevin, can you say a prayer about this person? If you do not have a prayer life, you will not get those requests. But the more you pray, the more people come to you, or the more opportunity you have to pray. It keeps opening up. And there are times when when I'm in that mood and I'm being consistent with prayer, my prayer time becomes longer because my list gets longer.
Do you keep notes throughout the day? I'm sure you do. You're a avid note taker and journal keeper, so I'm sure you just write little notes to yourself all day. And
I do. I do not keep a prayer journal. There are people who keep prayer journals. I don't do that, but I do pepper prayers and things like that in my diary every now and then.
Yeah. How do you want to close this show out, man? How can we finish it up? We're at an hour. I think it's a good time to shut her down.
I don't know. Let's see.
Well, let's do the rating first. Let's do the bourbon rating, and then we'll get back to it.
We'll do that.
How many stars out of 5?
I'm going 4.
Dang.
The reason why I don't typically like Tennessee whiskeys.
Yeah.
I do like this one. It's probably the better of the Tennessee whiskeys I've had. And it, like kind of what you said, it fluctuates back and forth. And I do like the heat on this one. It reminds me of the Booker's.
I would like to try this with ice. I think with a couple ice cubes in it.
The challenge.
I'm going 2 stars. Just based off that last sip that I had.
Oh boy! Wow, we're way off. This is one of the few times
because I was bouncing. I'm 2 or 3, and yeah.
Usually,
this doesn't remind me of Booker's, man. Maybe the last Booker's we tried, the 2026-01. It could be similar to that.
Oh no, I was going 2502.
No way, man.
No, I'm not saying it's as good, but I have reflections of it, especially with not the sweaty eyelids, but coming close. And my eyelids getting warm.
Huh. Okay.
And, I don't get that very often from drinking a bourbon. And I know it's a Tennessee whiskey. And I don't get that out of Tennessee whiskeys. I kind of like it.
Yeah, they tend to be a little bit more mellow, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you got for us, man?
I got nothing.
No? You've been flipping pages for a while.
I know. I lost my place. I lost my place.
Well, I'll just say this, man. If you want to learn more about Jesus, you can send us an email, send us a message, leave us a comment. We'll talk to you about him. You can go to your local church, local Christian church, ask people.
Or you can do it where you're at.
You can pray. Just right now, you could pray ask for God's forgiveness, and have faith and just start your walk, man. We wish you would. I love y'all. Thank you for listening. I hope we have more opportunity to share more of our faith, and in the future. And we'd love to hear from you and get your thoughts. I got nothing else to say, man.
God bless and peace out.
Bye.